Episode 2, Mistakes Were Made podcast. My name is Josh Aldo. The podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about, I was trying to do the math on how much I probably lost due to college. At a minimum, $75,000. 25 of that, hard money, cash money. I didn't include any interest on a student loan or not, but that's pennies. But at a minimum, 25,000 cash. Probably, again, the same amount of time, an extra 50 to 70,000. So let's call it anywhere from 75,000 to $100,000 in wasted potential and opportunity that I made by choosing to go to college. First of all, I went to Aquinas College in Grand Rapids. I triple majored in accounting, finance, and marketing. Marketing, business management, same thing. And school was fine, did well in school, didn't really try or study, but I didn't see a purpose in it. It was more so just like the cliche thing to do, make my parents proud type thing. At the time, I almost played baseball there too. Probably could have played hockey there too. But I wanted to focus on school because accounting was kind of rough. Let's think back to college. Had a phenomenal marketing teacher, management teacher, accounting teachers. The nicest people at that school. And my favorite class was probably econ because the teacher just knew. It was just actually interesting stuff. They all knew extreme amounts, especially like the ones I mentioned, marketing, management, and accounting. They were like so sharp. So the value I got there was definitely good. However, the econ teacher, I could sit there and talk for hours and just ask him questions about markets and gold and all these different things. It was just the most interesting thing to me because it was real stuff, like how the gold market works or how commodities work or all these different things, right? But my first year there, Aquinas College tuition is like $40,000 a year. I went there for 2 years. Almost went for 3, but they tried to double my tuition or something like that. First year was $8,000. Call it 10 after everything. And my second year was $15,000. So there's the $25,000 cash. Took out, I think, $3,000 or $4,000 in loans to pay for that. So that counts as an expense. The interest on that's like 2 to 4% though. So I don't even really worry about it. 2% on it, like, it just doesn't make sense. It's not real money. It's like $50. Let's say $100, $40 a year, whatever. But there's $25,000 that I wasted on going to college because I didn't need to go there to learn that information. Doctors need college, lawyers need college, accountants need college, nurses probably need college, but MBAs for what? Like the majority of things, especially if you look at Google, Apple, all these big companies are hiring without degrees anyway. So what do you really need it for if that's the case with the actual job market? And if you want to start your own thing, then you probably definitely don't need college. But this is all opinion. You think I'm wrong, I would love to hear why you think I'm wrong, because then I can learn from it. Like, completely open-minded, genuinely, if I see a good point, or if I think it's a good point. And I don't even want to debate. I just want to listen to your thoughts. Not gonna hurt my feelings, right? So 25,000 there, but I'm also including in that at a minimum wage is 20,000 here, 18,000, 20,000. If I had a job making minimum wage, making nothing for those 2 years, I would have made an extra 20,000 a year. Call it 25 because I would have done something outside. Like, minimum wage is working 40 hours a week, making $10 an hour, which is dog shit. So at a minimum, I would have made an extra 20, 25,000 a year. 2 years, that adds from the 25,000 originally, another 50,000. So let's put it at 75. But also, if I would have started the multiple companies that I've started, but I do other stuff on the side. But let's say for Diplomat and Summit, where will I be 2 years from now with those companies? Let's add that to the total. Let's say I scale my businesses an extra, let's say so lowball, an extra 10 grand per business. So there's an extra 20. So now we're at 95. Like, that's so low, an extra 1,000 a month between the two. extremely low ball. That's an extra 20,000. So I wasted 95,000 by going to college because the time I could have had, this is so low. I think where am I going to be 2 years from now, especially with what I know now and knowing how much little I do know, but knowing how much I've learned so far in my journey, there's no way, like, it was such a missed opportunity. But from a perspective gratitude standpoint, it's the best thing that could have happened to me because one, whether you're a fatalist or whatever, I have no complaints because it's all gratitude. What if I hadn't gone to college? Like I talked about in the intro, what if I hadn't gone to college and I just became a total bum that did nothing, zero productivity? I got a minimum wage job, or I got a job that I hated and I was miserable and I was depressed and all these bad negative things. And I had no Instagram following, no YouTube following. I just wasn't doing anything to provide productivity or better the world, right? That could have happened if I hadn't gone to college and realized that I didn't need it. So I've talked to like a couple people. One was a counselor. I didn't go to counseling, but it was a friend of my mom. And she was like, well, you need to go to school. I'm like, yeah, but for what? And she's like, so you can do these things. And I'm like, yeah, but I do these things without needing school. And I make more. So what's the point if I'm generating more income without it to go spend money to make less? Like one of my favorite memes online is like, you take out debt to pay for school, to get a job, to pay for the debt. And then you take out more debt to get a car to get to the job to pay off the debt. And you get even more debt and you get a house to go to the job you don't like to pay off the debt that you didn't need. But you need a house. Like, I'm not trying to shit talk too much, but some people just don't think before they act. But this is about my mistakes, not anybody else's. And I'm not one to pass judgment. But feel free to pass judgment on me. It won't hurt my feelings. The main takeaway, though, is if I hadn't gone, I might not know that I need it, and it may have prevented me from making even millions of dollars, if not, let's play billions because I like to think big, right? It could have prevented me from making billions of dollars in the future because what if I got a job and I was only making $89,000 a year and I was fucking miserable because I was listening to what someone else told me to do every single day, and I had zero control of my life, and I had zero self-esteem to tell my boss to, like, up there. Not even that you want to get negative and tell your boss that, but I know a lot of people are in those situations where they aren't happy. So long term, it may have been a blessing that I lost out on this 95,000 because if I hadn't gone, I might not be as happy and fulfilled and doing what I enjoy and generating the income I enjoy to the same level that I am now, or especially compounding even longer into the future. So that's the biggest benefit that I learned from my mistake. Part of me wants to say, what did you learn from my mistake? I'm gonna start asking that at the end of every podcast. If you're watching it on YouTube, then you can just leave it in the comments. If you're listening to it from a podcast standpoint, I don't have a podcast set up yet. So the only place it's gonna be is YouTube. So leave a comment down below, or shoot me an email or DM me. Email is summitsme@gmail.com. DM me on Instagram or Twitter @thejoshelbo. But what did you learn from my $95,000 mistake of going to college and choosing to go to college? 25,000 of that being cash gone. One of the saddest days. I didn't actually cry. I always tell the story. I say I cried, but I didn't cry. But I went to pay for like a quarter of the semester, like half a semester. I walked in one day with like $8,000 cash. Walked in, paid for college, walked out, sat in my car, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Another time, the day I finally decided, the best news was that I decided to quit. So after Aquinas, I decided to go to community college to get credits because they tried to triple my tuition at Aquinas, and I wanted to stay in school to get the accounting degree. And you need like 150 or 155 credits to get the accounting degree. So I was getting credits at the community college near me, and the only reason that I decided to stay at the community college is because FAFSA-wise or something, they were paying me to be there. So I was making more money than I was spending at the community college by like $1,000 or something, like $500 or $1,000. So I was getting paid to go there. So if you're getting paid to go to school, by all means, you better stay there unless you got an opportunity cost somewhere else. But I was going to Florida, and I'm on the way to Florida, and I'm sitting there doing homework on the way there on my phone, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is a joke. Like, how big of a sheep can you be, Josh Elbow? You're going on a vacation and you're worried about fucking statistics homework that you're never going to use in life aside from maybe swing trading. But you could hire somebody to do it. Like, think bigger than being a sheep. And that was like, dude, I'm done. I'm out. I was making enough with Summit at the time to where it made no sense. I was like, I proved to myself, because I think arrogance can get you very caught in bad situations, but confidence based on results, which is the only way confidence can come from, because otherwise it probably is arrogance or ego. The results that I was getting with my business gave me confidence because I could tangibly see, okay, I have this skill set over this proven amount of time that can generate this proven amount of income, and it's not a short-term, like, phasey type thing. And that's when I decided I was done. And thank God I did, because I couldn't imagine wasting let's say another 50,000. So then we put the number up to, say I wasted another 2 years. So there's 50,000 in just income at minimum wage, which is a joke again. But not including, what if I wasn't making minimum wage? What if let's say I was just barely making median income per year, 46,000 a year? There's another 100K. At the time, like, most people in college from 18 to 22 are living at home, or their parents are paying for their rent at college, so it's not costing them anything. So how much more money could I have lost if I stayed there, and how much opportunity could I have missed by not looking for opportunity as a self-employed person, or as a whatever you want to call it. All in all, I learned from this, I think it's going to have a very positive financial as well as fulfillment correlation. Not even correlation. I think it's going to have a very positive financial result on the rest of my life, compounding over the next 80 years. Thank you so much for listening today, and try not to make the same mistakes that I did.